2:13 in the morning. The jet is delayed in Taterboro. A reporter somehow has a photo from the principal's private birthday dinner, and a $48 million capital call has to be wired by 9 a.m. or the family loses the allocation. 3 phones, 6 countries. One mistake and you're done. And the craziest part? Nobody outside the room even knows your job exists. Level 1, the assistant. You're 23, wearing a borrowed blazer, standing in a marble lobby at 6:12 a.m., with 4 coffees in a cardboard tray and a plastic badge clipped to your belt. Your boss isn't the billionaire, not even close. You work for the person who works for the person who works for him. Your day is flights, dry cleaning, table changes, gift sourcing, and fixing a dinner reservation for 8 people at a place that's been booked for 3 months. By week 2, you learn the first rule of the inner circle: speed beats sleep. By month 3, your younger sister Maya texts you at 11:47 p.m. asking if you're still coming to Dad's birthday. You're not. The principal's wife wants the guest list reprinted because 2 names are in the wrong order. You tell yourself this is temporary. Then one night, after 14 hours and 63 emails, the principal looks up and says, "What's your name again?" And just like that, you're visible. Level 2, the executive assistant. Now you sit outside the real office. You manage 2 calendars, 3 residences, and 1 man who changes his mind every 9 minutes. The meetings get bigger, so do the consequences. A lunch isn't a lunch anymore, it's a sovereign fund lunch. A school tour isn't a school tour. It's a decision about which city the family might move to next year. You sign your first NDA, then your 5th, then your 15th. You learn the second rule. Silence is currency. Maya calls again, this time because your mother needs help with a hospital form. You answer on speaker while booking a Gulfstream slot and whisper, "I'll call you back in 10. You don't. At 1:08 a.m., the principal hands you a second phone and says, "Keep this one on." Now you're in. Level 3, the gatekeeper. This is where access becomes power. By now, 47 people a day want 15 minutes with a billionaire. Founders, politicians, athletes, cousins, ex-wives, people who suddenly just want to catch up. You decide who gets through, who waits, and who never hears back. You learn the third rule. Proximity is not trust. Judgment is, which calls ring twice. Which family fights mean the 4 p.m. board meeting is dead. You know the difference between a real emergency and a rich person emergency. No, seriously, they're not the same. At 8:40 p.m. on a runway in Nice, the billionaire's son blows up over a missing passport. A girlfriend starts crying, and 2 security guys look at you like you're the adult in the room. You fix it in 11 minutes. And that's when the family office notices you. Level 4, the family office associate. The job gets quieter and heavier. You move upstairs, away from the kitchens and car services, into the rooms with spreadsheets, trust charts, and walls nobody photographs. This is a single-family office now, one private machine built to serve one private dynasty. You sit in meetings about 14 LLCs, 6 properties, 3 foundations, and an investment portfolio bigger than most companies. You hear phrases like direct deal, SPV, K1, and investment committee before 9:30 in the morning. You also learn something most people never do. Rich families don't just have money, they have infrastructure. Average offices like this can manage around $1 billion. Sometimes more, much more. But money doesn't reduce chaos. It scales it. Maya sends you a photo from your nephew's first birthday. You stare at it for 4 seconds, heart reacted, and go back into a meeting about tax exposure on 2 continents. You don't know it yet, but the most expensive mistake of your life is still 2 levels away. Level 5, the fixer. This is where your real career starts. Now you don't just manage calendars, you solve collisions, a staff dispute in Aspen, a foundation scandal brewing in London, a trustee who wants documents by noon, a private school problem that absolutely cannot become a page 6 problem. At 2:13 a.m. the call comes. A $48 million capital call is due by 9 o'clock. The wire instructions look off. 1 digit. Just 1. If you send it wrong, the money disappears into the wrong account and every banker, lawyer, and family member wakes up screaming. You make 17 calls in 4 hours. Zurich, New York, Palm Beach, Cayman. By 8:41, the wire lands. Barely. Nobody claps. Nobody says thank you. The principal just says, good. What's next? And what's next is bigger than operations. It's loyalty. Level 6, the chief of staff. Now you're the hinge. 40 staff members. 5 outside advisors, 1 CIO, 1 general counsel, 1 house manager in each time zone. Everything flows through you before it touches the principal. You sit in on estate planning, security briefings, philanthropy strategy, succession conversations people avoid for 20 years and then try to solve in 20 minutes. You also start seeing the weakness inside all this power. A lot of these offices still don't have basic continuity locked down. Not enough cybersecurity, not enough succession planning, not enough truth in the room. The patriarch gets sick. Suddenly, every adult child has an opinion. Every advisor has a memo. Every old promise comes back from the dead. Maya asks if you're coming home for Christmas. You look at the message at 12:06 a.m. You don't answer until the 27th, too late. Then the family asks you to stay even closer. Level 7, the steward. You are no longer staff in the normal sense. You are memory, pattern recognition, institutional nerve. You know which sun means growth and which sun means risk. You know why the Art Trust was moved in 2019. You know why the family sold 1 newspaper, kept the other, and never speaks about the third. You're in the room for the will review. The governance rewrite. The transition plan. This family is worth billions. The office manages more money than entire towns will ever see. But the real asset isn't the jet, the houses, or the private equity book. It's coherence. Your job now is keeping 3 generations, 20 advisors, and 1 fragile story from flying apart. And somewhere in the middle of all that, you realize something brutal. You spent 12 years protecting somebody else's life so carefully. Your own life quietly shrank around the edges. That's the trade. The camera pulls back. In the same marble lobby, another young person stands there at 6:12 a.m. Same plastic badge. Same borrowed blazer. Same 4 coffees in a cardboard tray. Another long shot. Another open door. Another person mistaking access for arrival. He has no idea who he's about to serve, or what serving them is about to turn him into. He'll figure it out. They always do.